Financial Times and read the news. I've been trying to stay abreast of the news more than I used to. I used to go into the office and get the FT and the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and read them all. But I still haven't converted. I don't have Gary's appreciation of cash. I like having some, but I like to put everything on a card. But I like to read physical papers. I don't like to read online. I really hate reading off my iPad if I can avoid it. So staying up with the news, that's probably the one habit that's shifted a bit. How about you? What's your habit?
I started liking nature more. I started being more isolated creature. I started being frightened by cars and people because I spent a lot of time outside of the city in my village, and now I kind of coming back to the city. Kind of I feel a bit like coming out of the jungle.
Where are you?
No, now I'm in Moscow. I'm based. I'm Russian by origin, so I'm doing it out of Moscow. I used to live in Zurich before, also kind of a village. So big cities scare me now after all this.
Well, you know, climate change really is affecting things because, I mean, I know about the fires and all that, but look at the beach now eroding Moscow. I just, you know, never would have thought, but I heard the Arctic was melting. But I mean, this is incredible, Elena.
Yeah.
Is it
Palm
true?
trees.
The beach is eroding.
I mean, where are we going to end? California is now going to turn into a major desert.
California is and always has been a desert.
Come to Texas. I keep saying this. Come on, guys. Everybody move to Texas.
Everybody is.
Cows, lakes, ocean, you know, everything.
We just lost some good friends to Austin.
Okay. Shall we start? Okay. I will explain the rules again. It's never enough. So first we have this startup battle whereby I will play videos of certain startups that applied for the speaking session. You all have voting sheets, guys, all panelists and judges. You should have received it via email. If you didn't receive it, please tell me now so that I can send you a link privately in this chat. Okay?
I didn't get one, Elena.
Yes.
I didn't get a score.
Okay, good. I will now send it to you. Second is you basically everyone now turns off the cameras. Everyone, and for the video sync. And after the video sync is over, please turn on the cameras, only the panelists and the moderators. I again put it in a general chat because sometimes people a little bit mix who is the panelist and who is the judge. Judges, they just watch and vote. And after the panel, they talk to the startups. But we cannot accept everyone as a panelist, but we will try to accommodate everyone in due course. But for the moment, we have only those people who are the panelists. Okay, I'm sending the sheets to you.
Elena, so, can you send me a sheet as well, please?
Who's talking?
That's me, David Bolton from
okay,
London.
David. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. I will send everyone a sheet. Okay.
I meant to introduce my friend Linda Cohen. She turned off her camera, but hi, Linda.
Okay, I'm sending the sheet.
Hi, Elena. Gabriel here. Sorry, I didn't say hi.
Good. Okay. Can you guys write me privately? Can you guys write me privately if you didn't get the sheets, because I have so many participants. Okay, David, thank you. you ask for the sheet, and then Nicholas. Okay, does everyone has the sheet now? If you don't,
Yep.
just write me privately. Okay, good. Please mute yourself and please turn off your camera. I will start the pitching battle now. Okay. And about Astra Global, by the way, we help startups finding the right investors for them. So if you have questions like this, let me know. Okay. 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 So first project point, video pitch.
Don't hear anything.
Cannot hear, sorry.
We don't hear anything, Elena.
I don't
Sorry,
hear.
one second. You cannot hear the panel, or you cannot hear the video.
No.
The video. The video, yeah.
That is strange. Okay, let me try it again. Let me know if you can hear it. It used to work good.
No, we can't hear it, Elena.
No.
Nothing.
One sec. Now you should be able.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrei Sviatov, I'm CEO of PointPay, and today I would like to present our project to you. So what is PointPay? PointPay is a unique cryptocurrency banking platform which unites 9 fully functional operational products. So what are these products? The first one is PointPay blockchain-based bank, where you can place your deposits and earn daily compound interest on your crypto. Then PointPay exchange, where you can convert one currency to another one using market, limit, and stop limit orders. Then PointPay crypto wallet, where you can securely store funds. Then PointPay token sale platform, where you can buy our utility token, PXP. Then PointPay payment system, where you can buy crypto using your debit and credit cards. We also have our PointPay native off-chain technology, which enables our clients to send instant transfers within the system. We also have a PointPay Crypto School, where beginners can get to know how to start trading and making money in the cryptocurrency market. We also have mobile crypto banking applications for Android and iOS. They're quite convenient. I will show it to you. You can use this application on a daily basis. You can send your crypto which you have on your account. You can receive crypto using public addresses and QR codes, and you can buy crypto using PointPay payment system. I believe within 2 weeks we will add the sell function as well. We have our token PXP. It is integrated into the exchange, where you can get discounts while you are trading, into bank, where you can earn up to 20% APR. It is also integrated into PointPay Crypto School, and you can get an access to premium videos. Moreover, if you have this token, you receive a discount for internal transfers within the ecosystem on any asset you have in the system. And we are also developing a crypto lending module. It will be centralized, and within a month, I believe we will launch it and enable our clients to get instant credit line. We also applied to FCA in order to get a status of small payment institution, and I believe we'll get this status. Thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. This was the first project, PointPay, and now we have the second project. Okay.
Hi, it's Vas from Loadsplant. Loadsplant is a mobile ordering and load solution for restaurant and retail chains. What's cool about our company is that we're experiencing sort of our explosive growth right now because of the post-COVID transformation that is happening with all those brick and mortar businesses right now. So what we stand for, what I'm extremely passionate about, is to build rewarding customer relationships with our product. And because of that, help awesome innovators on the restaurant and retail markets to build their businesses and take their business to the next level. The product actually those
My name is Mark. I'm the founder and CEO of Fleming.
Smart personalized marketing campaigns, POS systems, payment providers, etc., and also some expert guidance, some customer success to help make use of all that. So we happen to be one of the top contenders in this space and achieved some great results with some noticeable brands and achieved some great metrics for those companies. Right now, we're experiencing sort of explosive growth in our sales, mainly because of those 4 reasons and this market transformation that's happening right now. And here is how it looks like. In terms of the ARR, our projection for this year is to grow almost 2 times. And that's for all the signed-up customers that we already have. And this is how we plan to grow in the next couple of years. Super conservative projections and looking to make 3 times more than that. In terms of the investment, we're looking to raise around 5.6 million. Most of that would be invested in product development and accelerating our growth on the international market. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Thank you. Hi, it's Vas from Loadsplant. Loadsplant is a mobile ordering and load solution for restaurant and retail chains. What's cool about our...
Okay, guys, I kindly ask you to mute yourself now, okay? Everyone, please mute yourself. Okay, next project is Shield IoT.
Hello everyone, my name is Udi Solomon and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Shield IoT. Second, let me just take the presentation and here we go. Shield IoT, we're an IoT cybersecurity company, a software company based out of Israel. When we talk about the IoT, it's a huge market. It's over $300 billion today, impacting every aspect of our life, such as transportation, smart city, energy, healthcare, and more. Security is a key inhibitor today in the deployment of this network. As networks, in order to scale, need to secure their networks, need to deal with different types of devices and applications, and at scale. And our vision is that in order for these mass scale networks to happen and materialize, they will need to rely on Shield IoT core set security solutions. Based on over a decade of research in MIT, and backed by multiple patents and over 40 academic papers, Shield IoT is able to secure any device or application, providing unmatched detection accuracy of up to 20 times higher compared to industry solutions, and is able to scale to networks of millions today. We focus on 2 types of customers. The first ones are global IoT brands, large device manufacturers that are also service providers, leverage Shield IoT to protect their brand, protect their mass scale networks while taking down their operational expenses. The second type of customers are large IoT integrators that are doing multiple types of IoT projects and require a single security solution that would serve them across these different B2B use cases. And when we talk about a solution, it's a software solution, a software platform intended to secure any device or application with no need for any network changes, development resources, or unique security expertise, providing protections both at the gateway or edge level, as well as agentless at the network level, combined with a centralized management, enabling protection, visibility, and control over this network. We focus on different B2B use cases, with smart cities being the key focus area for Shield IoT. One example is Signify Philips Lighting, the largest lighting provider in the world today, that selected Shield IoT to secure its smart city gateways, not just for future products, but for their existing install base. The business model is very simple, based on an annual subscription per number of devices that are secured, with quantity-based discounts. Last but not least, the team brings over 20 years of industry experience, from large enterprises to early stage startups in the communication, big data analytics, embedded and security domains, combined with unique industry, academia knowledge and experience from over a decade of research. Thank you very much, and we look forward to meet in person.
Okay. I need a short break.
Hi, how are you? Hello?
Okay, can everyone please mute yourself? I will continue in 20 seconds. I just need to check. The next is, let's see. Because startups still continue sending me videos, and I need to check it. Okay. Got it. Okay. Just 1 minute.
Sounds like Elena's been electrocuted.
Okay, let's move on. SaaS mining.
There is an enormous problem in the energy sector today, and that is the fact that they waste an unbelievable amount of energy because they do not have demand for that energy. And so what is the solution to this? Well, SaaS Mining has built a product that goes in and can be placed on site where the excess energy that these energy companies are wasting, and consume that excess power to power cryptocurrency mines that generate even more dollars than a traditional energy client. Right now is the perfect timing for this, for 3 reasons. 1 being that crypto is now finally bankable and is much more widely accepted. 2, the energy sector is largely unaware of the benefit that cryptocurrency mining can provide to consume their excess energy. And 3, the obvious one, is that COVID has completely shocked energy demand, so there is more excess or wasted energy than ever before. SaaS Mining is perfectly positioned to dominate this $10 billion opportunity at the intersection of blockchain and energy. And we are currently raising $1 million that will allow our team to finalize these contracts and move these conversations forward with these enormous energy companies that we're speaking with, and to continue building the brand so future energy companies that want to go and take care of this excess energy problem will have a company to work with, and that will be Sasmine. We look forward to speaking with you.
Okay. Nauris.
Nauris Living Security Ecosystem. As founders, we have more than 35 years of experience in cyber and business. David was the youngest global chief information security officer at the age of 30, advising nation states on cyber war and cyber risks. Myself, I managed the largest clients for AT&T like IBM and Apple. As inspiration, we look at the most successful ecosystem on Earth. When a predator comes into the jungle, all animals attack him and the jungle shouts an alarm. Unlike in digital ecosystems, there is no advantage of having many connected devices as they cannot detect a threat together. The world loses $6 trillion to cyber damages a year. Cyber threats spread rapidly, but detection is slow. It takes 197 days to detect a breach. Introducing Nauris, the future. We have developed the first distributed threat detection and endpoint security platform. With Nauris, every single endpoint, such server, phone, laptop, become an active player in business security, and together they actively monitor security integrity of each other. We reduce 197 days of average for breach detection to less than 5 seconds by providing additional security layer on top of existing infrastructure. We detect unknown threats like cyber Batman 0 days, and Nauris is more reliable, scalable, and accurate in threat detection, and easy to deploy and integrate with current tools. We do not need to collect customer data. We had an amazing traction. We signed 3 multi-billion-dollar companies for pilots, signed LOIs to connect more than 30,000 devices globally, and projected revenue of $1.5 million. Our business model is simple, SaaS, subscription-based. We plan to expand, signing resellers and security providers. We have multiple sales leads from Fintech space and bookings from a large car manufacturer. Our brand ambassador, ex-chief of NATO, cyber intelligence said the world needs to play a different game against hackers, and Nauris is it as such. We have engaged with global leaders and advisors like the VP of Morgan Stanley and Cisco Products. We have won multiple prizes as most disruptive cyber vendor of 2020 as Fortune Project. Nauris was mentioned in most prestigious publications like InfoSecurity magazine. We are onboarding customers and working on our next investment round. Join us and connect with us to learn more. Thank you.
Next project.
Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about Soundario, a revolutionary music streaming platform based on blockchain technology. However, before I do that, I'd like to quickly give you some background information about who we are. We're a Chinese company with a strong 5-year track record. We're invested by VCs, Gen Fund and Linear Capital with $1 million US. We have a product Pillow with an annual turnover of $1.5 million US, and we have an app, Cloud Dream, with 2 million users. Our latest product, Soundario, is entering a market that is worth $11 billion US. Music streaming has become the main consumption method of music in the world today. However, the industry has a lot of problems. One of the major problems is the distribution of wealth. The CEO of Spotify is worth $2.5 billion US. That's almost 23% of the entire global market. If artists like Taylor Swift are so outraged that they remove their content from these services, just try to imagine what it's like for the rest of the industry. The millions of artists like me who essentially receive nothing. Well, that's exactly why we created Soundario, a music streaming solution that enables musicians to take control of their music and receive the revenue they deserve. Blockchain, we use blockchain to simplify payments, making them immutable and transparent. Our smart contracts automate those payments, and our DB cryptocurrency aligns everybody's incentives. How have we been able to do this? Well, we simplified the industry into a 4-step process so that artists can get paid directly every 24 hours without the need for middlemen. Why Soundario? Well, services like Spotify are grossly unfair in the way that they distribute rewards. Our blockchain competitors are on limited platforms in a legal grey area with biased tokenomics dictated by the platform. Also, none of them are in the mainland Chinese market. Only Soundario offers a fully compliant cross-platform product that uses dynamic equations to determine fair reward for all contributing parties. Because of this, the Soundario solution is already self-generating industry-wide traction. We have had thousands of users acquired 100% organically in the last 2 months alone, including record labels and content creators. And a recent Weibo post had over 1 million views.
Okay, this is a bit longer, which we didn't agree on. I need to admit everyone.
You can do it. Hi, I'm Valerie. I'm one of the co-founders of Curia Invest. Curia Invest turns
Hey guys, it's Ali from ARF. We are a unique startup.
Okay, continue doing this.
Workspace is one of the most important products as all index. It addresses the problem that index providers may take several weeks to develop a new index, even for simple index methodologies. Our clients can use Workspace to reduce the time to market from several weeks to several days, or in the best case to several hours. This is achieved by a number of different and transparent interfaces, which are completely independent from any graphical user interface and can be even accessed through a programming code. For our proof of concept, we have chosen Google Sheets because we know that most of our clients in the ETF and structured products area use Excel for rapid prototyping for their indices and index backtesting. We show you here examples for oil and gas, basic resources, and construction materials. As you can see, the backtesting is very fast. It's almost effortless once it is set up. And in no time, different scenarios can be tested through Google Sheets by using Workspace. The second example we are going to show you is how our interfaces can be accessed through programming code. We have chosen Python, and we can access, for instance, the list of different industry sectors, or we can show in a price diagram very easily historical prices of a particular underlying. In this particular case, it is HSBC Holdings. Looking into the future, using a workflow tool might even further reduce time to market, which is the combination of backtesting and putting indices into production in index management.
Bad protocol.
Hello, my name is Igor Smil. I'm co-founder of Open.
2 weeks without a Hello IOTA roundup. That means lots of news which need to be covered, and also some words about how and why the look of our news magazine has changed. Are you interested? Then stay tuned for the next 35 minutes. Hey there, my name is Chris Muller, and I'm glad to be hosting the 2 weeks without a Hello.
Excuse me, there's no sound in the video.
Elena, we can't hear anything.
Yeah, I cannot hear.
Nothing.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I muted myself. Then we try it again. Sorry for the inconvenience. Try this video. Okay. Let me know because it's not very good sound. If it's a bad sound, probably we skip it.
Hello, my name is Igor Smil.
Yes.
Of Open Banking Platform for Real Estate, DAO REIT. So we are solving problem of liquidity for real estate. As you know, there are like several problems there. First of all, it's a higher barrier to entry. where it requires usually to have the full amount of the money, like in order to participate in the particular real estate market. So it's also high timing and difficult to trade. So just the registration and change of the ownership of real estate and securing the mortgages, all that could take like easily 45 days. So the average time for mortgage or HELOC in the US, it's 43, 45 days right now. Then
One of the projects that we're preparing. So if you think that's interesting, there's all the things that are interesting. Yes, there are other things that are more interesting. We actually want to forget about disruption. We just want to do the transition.
Sorry, guys, can you please mute yourself? Thank you very much. I will start a little bit again.
The time for mortgage or HELOC in the US, it's 43, 45 days right now. Then it's geographical closeness and kind of proximity barrier. So the investors usually invest only the real estate, which is in close proximity and where they can check real estate out in person. And finally, the high transaction cost, which is approximately 6% of brokerage commission. So we estimate the whole market in $167 billion per year. And our target part of this market is 1/3, so it's about 55 billion per year. This is the potential market that we're going out. So how this works? So we move real estate and trust or LLC. We split it on the beneficial interest and sell this interest in 3 ways. So first of all, we have already interest from several investment banks, such as Credit Suisse in New York or the leading Brazilian investment bank, to underwrite and to be one of those wholesale bank providers. Then we plan to launch DAO REIT. We plan to launch real estate investment trust on the public market in order to convert this fractional ownership and sell them publicly. With at least $300 million for the beginning volumes, and then we hope to reach more than $1 billion. And finally, we enable decentralized finance application to easily, with small amount of money, to invest in this real estate for people all over the world. So our service has big implications for foreclosures. So this will help people to avoid eviction. We are gonna buy bad loans from credit unions and sign agreements when the people become co-owners with us or co-tenants and pay us rent. So this will help to avoid eviction and give them like a time in order to get the job and basically back on track again.
Hi, my name is Valerie, and I'm one of the co-founders of Curia Invest. Curia Invest turns collectible cars into an asset class that everyone can...
I know you're nervous, so plant your feet firmly into the ground, push it down,
okay.
Feel solid, because if I see what's behind you, this picture, it's power, my word. So I want you to reflect that power, Valerie. Come on, you can do it.
Hi, I'm Valerie. I'm one of the co-founders of Curia Invest. Curia Invest turns collectible cars into an asset class that everyone can invest in. The car that you see right here is a Ferrari F12 TDF. When it was sold in 2015, the price tag was $450,000 US. Only 8 months later, it was resold at an auction for $1.5 million US. Now picture this. Someone bought this car, parked it in his garage, and earned $130,000 US every single month. Now, it turns out this is not an isolated case. Collectibles have been performing extraordinary over the past decades, and cars have been excelling. On our platform, you can find and learn about assets. You can invest in them in a fraction. Now, instead of buying a Google share or an Apple share, you could buy a fraction of the Ferrari F12 TDF we saw before, for instance. You can sell your share at any time if you want to exit, and you can track your portfolio on our platform anytime.
I like Valerie's joie de vivre. You know, she comes out as a very
Hi, we are Fintune, and we help kids to master money in a digital world. For parents, it's important to teach children healthy habits early in life. For banks, it's important to win the next generation and to build up loyalty. So we invented Fini, the first white label B2B and B2C mobile banking solution based on the open banking standard PSD2 and the digital money box for children. It helps them saving coins and bills and understanding digital money on the bank account. For parents, it's easy to set up pocket money and track how much the money was spent. They can save for own goals, and the larger family can even support the children. The market is now focusing on that children segment 7+ with Revolut, GoHenry or Oscar. We see the market potential for 5 million sales only in the European Union and even more abroad. Fintune provides the education platform, the apps with a software as a service solution or subscription model, the hardware device, and the Fini community functionality. We partnered up with our software partner Proxim and developed the first app, which is now ready to be launched. We sell to B2C clients and B2B partner banks. In the B2C channel, we earn the subscription fees and a hardware margin. And in the B2B channel, we generate SaaS revenues and the hardware margin. We are already in contact with banks in France, Austria, Jordan, Singapore, and United Arab Emirates. So we are now ready to launch our app in the first markets, Germany and Austria. We raised already money, and we're seeking now for almost 500,000 to complete the app, to launch it, and to start the hardware engineering. We turn EBIT positive in only 2 years. So it's time to join our journey to become the Europe's #1 digital piggy bank and even the #1 worldwide.
And I'm the founder and CEO of GEMS. After working for a few years in Silicon Valley, I landed in Germany and actually spent a few years here working for a German neobank, Penta, leading growth. And while at Penta, I got to speak with a lot of small businesses and freelancers, and it actually turned out a lot of them struggle a great time with admin and finance. This is their biggest pain, not really banking. And then what it seemed to be is that they just using too many different tools to complete a single admin action, and their biggest pain is reconciling everything for the tax accountant. So literally mapping transactions to receipts. Now, the major problem in that space is that all the different functions, as well as all the data, live in very many different places, which is why it makes so hard for a business owner to take care of this. So essentially what we came up with is this one platform where somebody can just connect all their tax accounts in one place, make sure that they see all the financial data here, and then we'll let them run all the key tasks right here in a platform, be those expenses or invoices or processing incoming bills. And then all of this is automatically reconciled for tax accounting. So 80–90% of this is done automatically for the business owner. So using a one-stop shop platform, they spend not only 50% of their time, but also 50% of the money they would pay for all these different tools. Now, the major trick is that because everything is in one platform, there is more and more capacity to automate things in the future and enable a layer of additional services that we can offer to businesses. Now, an important thing is we actually asked companies whether they prefer one platform or their current process, and a shocking 76.5% of businesses in Europe said they would absolutely prefer one platform for all their admin needs. And so the way we're planning to monetize it is very simple: SaaS with the upsell capability in the future. And then the timing of the market is actually perfect because COVID is pushing digitalization. It's making people more and more cost sensitive. And then the CFO tooling revolution is just around the corner, like Anderson Horowitz puts it. My partner in crime for GEMS is Andrei, who led tech for the biggest Russian SME bank, 400,000 customers. We're currently in beta and we're raising a 500K pre-seed round. Thank you so much for your attention.
Just 1 second break, and please pay attention that we don't have video from startup number 15, the Lulu, and now we have streaming videos too, and we are ready for the one.
Hi.
One second.
Hey, ¿qué tal?
Your video.
Ah, por aquí andan. So.
It's not working. Everyone, please mute yourself, just so that we're able to hear the video. Anton, your video is not working. Can you send me another link? I cannot upload your video. I'm sorry. If you can hear me.
Just a moment, I send you. I will send you.
I see you guys are talking here extensively. Very good. Okay, I will continue. Please pay attention to the startups names, because now one is missing the video and I'm still waiting for video for one project. So look at the names in the sheets as well. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is not the one. Sorry. Okay, so for Must, we are waiting for the video for Must. It will be shown a bit later. Now we have ARF project. So please keep Must in your voting sheets. Okay.
Hey guys, it's Ali from ARF. We are a unique startup bringing two worlds together. One is the traditional finance world, and the other is the crypto/digital asset world. And we are in the process of being regulated and licensed in the UK. The finance industry has this huge problem of pre-funding. Pre-funding is like if you're a licensed financial player like TransferWise, TransferGo, WorldRemit, these kind of guys, or any other over-the-counter players like MoneyGram, Western Union, these guys, you have to have the money upfront in that country. Let's say you are sending, your customer is sending $1 million to another country. Weekly, you have the money in that country in your partner's bank account. So you can imagine that this makes the industry very cash intensive. The business model is very cash intensive, and if you have only the right funding amount, you can go big and grow. So the market is around 500. The remittance market is $500 billion big per year, and our beachhead market is right now only the digital remittance companies like the names I told you before, and they are $100 billion per year. So you can think other adjacent markets like mass payouts, international mass payouts, and payments, but these are for later. Right now, our team has more than 20 years of entrepreneurship experience with lots of product development expertise. And we are either software developers or engineers, or used to be software developers or engineers. So we are bringing a fresh perspective to the traditional finance world. And we got already $150 million per year commitment as a volume which should flow through us. We signed Alipay, we signed a partner of TransferWise, we signed another one of the top competitors of TransferWise. We raised around $200K for now, and we are looking for another $600,000 to raise. Thank you for your time. We hope we keep in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And now, please keep number 15. We didn't get video from them, and this is number 16. Lenny.
Hi, my name is Mark. I'm the founder and CEO of Lenny.
My name is John Hakim. I'm the CTO and one of the co-founders of Bank.
In US, 138 million Americans, they struggle financially and in a need for short-term cash. And the only option they have is a payday loan, which they charge them around 400% APR. And this borrower, they borrow at least 10 times per year. On the other hand, lending business and financial institution, they don't have a full picture about the borrower risk profile. They have a high operational cost resulted in shop rent and salaries, and they still use a traditional way to evaluate borrower or collect payment. All of this high operational cost is transferred to the user in terms of high interest and high fees. That's why we came up with LendMe. LendMe is a monthly subscription peer-to-peer lending platform.
LendMe actually connect borrower to lenders, either individual lenders or lending business. We're using the latest technology for KYC to identify the identity of our users, and also using data and machine learning to evaluate the risk profile of our borrowers and provide our lenders with a detailed insight of the borrower's financial history.
Since our launch in 2019, we have 150,000 users, 6,000 lenders, $2 million of loan originated, and 45 businesses lending in our platform. We are so proud of our achievement and looking to scale our company and move to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and the last but not least, this one works. Okay, great. This is number 13, must. Please pay attention.
Hello, my name is Anton Ridko. I am CEO and co-founder of Must Insurance. Must Insurance is a digital insurance and financial broker for truck owners. Powered by big data and machine learning, we have our solution for scoring risks. We provide low cost of coverage and loans for trucks owners and profitable portfolio for our partners, insurance companies, and the banks. We know that each of truck owners spend $7,000 per year for each of their trucks, and we know that it's a very good budget for make business in this make business. We plan to develop an insurance financial service for them and offer them in our system. We have some solution in insurance and in the credit, and we have sales in this niche in Russia. Russia is a good market for start, and now we want to scaling on our solution to Europe. Main problem in insurance in this niche market is a big losses. And for truck owners, it's a very bad because they need to spend a lot of time and money. It is because insurance and underwriters don't have a good solution for evaluation of risk in this niche. And we have it and we can change it. We have very good data. We aggregate a lot of data on the market, and we have a very good algorithms for evaluation risk here. We have some pilots in Russian, and we have a good solution, is working solution. We have revenue and we have sales. We have competitors, and it is classic insurance agents and brokers. We have agent-based business model, and we want to go from Russia to Europe. Now we're looking for partners for pilot in Europe, and now we start fundraising for this. We have a very good team for this plan, and we can do it. This is my contact, and I will be happy to answer this. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Please, panelists, turn on your video cameras, Julio, as well. Now we have a 30-minute panel discussion. And can you please fill in the voting sheets, because we will be calculating in the meantime, so that we can then okay. Okay, Julio, I give you the power now.
Thank you. Thank you, Elena.
And sometimes, you know, not like sometimes judges turn on the cameras, so just be gentle. But I kindly ask only panelists to turn on the camera, and I shared who are the panelists, and I can share it again. Those are the guys, and the rest are judges. Okay, thank you so much. We have half an hour.
Okay, so it's top of the hour right now in New York. Happens to be exactly noon, so around 12:30 we will finish the panel discussion. Correct, Elena? And then you will come back.
Yes, yes. Good.
Okay. Well, look, first of all, congratulations to all of the companies we just saw present. I think that regardless of the, first of all, they all had something interesting and impressive to say. And then, you know, regardless of whether people get selected or not, I think that it's quite remarkable how much time and thought people have put into forming a company and then embarking on this very difficult journey to raise capital. It's, you know, you can never underestimate how long and how difficult the road is to raise capital. Just as you cannot underestimate how difficult it is to, when one has some capital to invest, to select which companies to back and to choose. It's really, it's quite a long journey.
Maybe you can also let everyone introduce themselves, and you introduce yourself as well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
yeah, well, that was, okay. First of all, my name is Julio Marquez. I'm the managing partner of a company called New York Bay Capital, based in New York, but with presence around the world. You can find us at nybaycapital.com. And we also run a fund called New York Bay Blue, which we have over the years set up with our clients and investors. While New York Bay Capital as a whole is an advisory company, usually dealing with M&A, over the years we have met a lot of interesting entrepreneurs who bring deals that are a lot smaller than appropriate for an M&A type of transaction or a large capital raise. But we have seen many of these small companies grow into very interesting businesses. So at some point we decided, our partners and clients and some of our friends, to put together a fund. So while New York Bay Capital looks at providing advice to large corporations, New York Bay Blue, our little fund, is set up to back small companies that are in the process of growing from startup to maybe Series A, with not very large checks, but certainly in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, to, you know, allow them to continue to grow. And so instead of collecting fees and retainers from small companies like that who can ill afford to pay up in the beginning, we instead back them, and then we also help them to find additional capital. So we're always networking, we're always looking for new ideas, and we're also always looking forward to meeting like-minded investors. That's my intro. In terms of the speakers, well, you know who you are. Maybe we could start just in my screen here. I have first on the left is Nina Gerson. So if we go by that order, plus of course applying ladies first. Nina, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today. Excited to be on this panel. I'm an investor with Capital G, which is Alphabet's independent growth equity fund. And so we invest for financial returns outside of any strategic investing in Google or Alphabet. And we look to invest in companies just as they're kind of starting to hit product market fit and are looking to put kind of fuel on the fire and scale. And so our average check size is probably a lot larger than a lot of folks may be looking for in the call today. It's more in the 50 million and we'll flex down to 15 or 20 million. That being said, part of our philosophy is very thesis driven. And so we like to meet companies early on in their journey, you know, at that seed and A stage and kind of develop relationships and track these companies so that when the growth stage does come, we're able to be there and already have a relationship. And the last thing I'll add is I myself focus about 65% of my time on fintech, majority of remaining on healthcare and international opportunities. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Nina. Going on my screen here, I have Ben Narrison to my, you know, he's next. So Ben, please go ahead, say a few words.
Hi, I'm Ben Narrison. I'm a venture partner at NEA, New Enterprise Associates. It's about a 42-year-old fund, currently investing on a fund 17, which is about a $3.6 billion fund. Having said that, we invest across a range of different stages, literally everything from seed to growth. I've written term sheets at this firm from $1.5 million to 15 to $150 million. Before joining NEA, I was a longtime seed investor. I spent 10 years, a lot of focus on fintech and marketplaces. My second investment ever was Lending Club, funded Cabot, which was sold recently. A lot of other great entrepreneurs, many of which have exited, many of which are still getting it done. And prior to that, I was an entrepreneur for 25 years, excuse me, and started one of the first e-commerce marketplaces in the world in 1993, which I took public in 99. So I've spent more time being an entrepreneur than I have being an investor. That's the lens I look through when I'm looking at investments at all stages. So thanks for all the presentations, everybody.
My friend Gary is next on my screen, although I don't see you, but I bet there you are. Hey,
Hi.
Gary.
Hi, Julio. How are you?
Your turn.
All right. My name's Gary Fowler, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I've been doing startups for almost 35 years. I just love startups. I've had, now on my second unicorn, my first unicorn, I was involved in the original management team of Click Software, which was sold about 1 year ago for $1.35 billion to Salesforce. My second unicorn is Eva.ai, which I co-founded 3.5 years ago with David Yang from Russia, one of the Russian billionaires who lives in Silicon Valley. So I am the co-founder and CEO of GST Venture Studios. What we do is we curate companies. They call us a unicorn breeder. And we take those companies global, using Silicon Valley as a port to the rest of the world. I am an investor. I'm involved in several funds. We're building a $100 million fund in Atlanta right now. I write a lot. I've written 74 articles on artificial intelligence in the last year. And I also have a show. So those of you tuning in next week, Guy Kawasaki is going to be on my show. And we're going to talk about persistence and tenacity and coming out to win in the pandemic. So that's where we are. Happy to talk to anybody about incredible projects and specifically interested in the applications of artificial intelligence. Thank you, Julio.
Thank you, Gary. I also see Olga Shikantsova on the list, and there you are.
Yeah.
Please
sure.
go ahead.
Yes, I'm Olga, investor with Target Global, which is 800 million euro venture fund, pan-European, based out of Berlin with offices also in London, Tel Aviv, and Barcelona. we are multi-stage fund. We invest everything between seed and actually up to Series C and D from different multiple fund entities. So we have early stage fund, we have growth stage fund. As a fund, we have several focuses. One of them is fintech, and about quarter of our portfolio is fintech. So I'm the one who's doing all fintech activities at Target. Out of our investments, we have 2 unicorns, still private, but still WeFox and Rapid. Other than that, many other growing companies in all sub-segments of fintech, from capital markets to insurance. I personally do fintech, as I just mentioned. I've been within this space last 5 years, moved from Moscow to where I was building a fund from scratch as under one of financial groups in Russia, and then moved to Berlin to head all fintech activities here at Target. Yeah, so main interest is fintech and especially infrastructure projects in it, and SME segment in fintech.
Thank you. Here, just going by my list, is Gabriel Zanko.
Yeah, thank you, Julio, and thank you, Elena, for the invite. My name is Gabriel Zanko. I'm currently based in Colombia, in Bogota, and I'm the CEO of 2 companies. One is Mobile Your Life, which is an investment banking, and we raise capital right now. We started with fintech and AI, but now we switch a little bit more into renewable energy, with a huge focus on waste to energy, biofuel, thorium reactors, food technology, and also from my side, I invest as an angel in some of the companies I also got presented. And also the second company is called Urano Capital, which would be a seed fund to invest in the same technologies and deals we're having and will helping to raise. And the good news also, I recently partnered with a company in South Africa that will help issuing green bonds to back a lot of these interesting companies in innovation and technology that will go from, hopefully from 50 million up to 200 million euros. So that's exciting. And yeah, thank you. Happy to be here with all you guys.
Thank you. Now that's all of the speakers on my list, but I know there's been some changes. Is anyone else on our screen slated to be a speaker that I haven't called on for an introduction?
Yeah, I'll just hop in, Julio. Nice to meet you, and Alina, thank you for
sorry,
having
Alex. Yes, and in fact, you are on my list. I apologize. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
No problem.
Last but not least.
I'll keep it quick then. My name is Alex Saunders. I'm the CEO and founder of Simpletones. So we're industry agnostic, mostly early stage. So we do a lot of work in the frontier field with ML, AI, VR, and then also some fintech. We did an investment in Intellige on the fintech side, which really just digitizes the whole commodity trading business from supply side through end result. Yeah, really excited to be here and talk to the other panelists on some of the industry tech trends going on right now.
Okay, checking in a different list I had, I also had Timu Sepala. Are you here? Hi, there you are.
Hi, I'm here in Helsinki. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great to be here. So greetings from Helsinki, Finland. So I'm here in Helsinki Business Hub, and we are helping fintech companies to land Finland and it here. So connecting VCs, CVCs, and so forth. Personally, I have a background from emerging markets, Africa and Asia, and working a lot with startup companies, especially with public funds. Thanks.
Okay, I think that takes care of all of our panelists. But again, feel free to interrupt if I'm wrong. Well, I was thinking about the discussion. Maybe we should start from large to small. Nina, you obviously write large checks, as you said, and I'm wondering from your perspective, what are 2 or 3 areas of the entire fintech industry, which as we all know is is very large, and I think it's very well represented here today. There are so many little aspects of potential investment. But when you're writing a large check, what are 2 or 3 areas of the entire universe of fintech that command your attention?
उसको अपन इसलिए हंस रहे हैं ना, वो भी बेचारा परेशान है। एक मिनट।
Rohit, I think you need to mute yourself. Okay, sorry. So once again, back to you, Nina. Areas of interest for you where large capital can be deployed to make a difference in fintech.
Yeah, happy to go over some of the areas within fintech and insurtech that we're focusing on today. I'd say the first thesis is kind of every company becomes a fintech and insurtech. And so what this means is basically all companies from SMBs, marketplaces to large enterprise companies have a proprietary user base essentially, whether it's B2B or B2C, and there's ways to tack on both insurance and financial products enabled to kind of add an additional revenue stream and increase monetization of their installed base. And so this kind of leads them to develop partnerships and white labeling solutions with different fintech and insurtech platforms. And so we've been meeting a lot with insurtechs that are enabling companies to add an insurance product at the point of sale. And so on the fintech side, we see this with buy now, pay later, and other different kind of monetization or lift platforms where you want to add financial and insurtech products into your consumer facing solution. So I'd say that's one space we're spending a lot of time in. I'd say the second space would be just in general, and this is obviously accelerated as we all know by COVID, the digitization of back-end workflows that are finance related. And so all the different kind of SMB, fintech, and insurtech tools that help SMBs automate their workflows in the finance department. It's also an area that we're spending time in. And then I'll just finish with kind of a tertiary theme is, and I saw there was one company on the panel on this, or the pitches on this, which is great, is B2B remittance and payment networks that are internationally focused is definitely an area that we're spending a lot of time with as well. So I'll leave it there.
Thank you. Without having really data here in front of me, I kind of feel that going from big to small, Ben, maybe you could fill in along the same question, unless you have comments on what Nina just said, or you want to say something different, of course. But what are areas that interest you?
Well, I wouldn't narrow it down to just fintech. Fintech's certainly an area of interest, and I think Nina enumerated a variety of areas that are intriguing. I think over the last 5 years, my attention in fintech has shifted to insurtech. I funded Zenefits when it first came out, and that was my sort of first window into understanding how insurance could trend in being, in that case, sort of a Trojan horse. But then I've funded things in everything from life insurance to auto. We have an investment in Metro Mile as an example. And more recently, you just saw Lemonade go public, which was a great validator of the category. I think that a lot of folks wanted to sort of see how that weathered. It spiked up, spiked down, but still at a tremendous valuation. So insurtech is one of the few white spaces left in fintech. I think some of the infrastructure layers are still becoming more and more important. There's, I've looked at a variety of businesses that are, for lack of a better term, bank as a service or bank in a box. We recently saw a great exit with Plaid, where you're sort of facilitating a lot of the connectivity that the fintechs need. And at this point, selling those picks and shovels is becoming more and more valuable. But I'm always looking for a niche that's not yet tapped. I mean, my passion is really around really early stage, even seed, although that's a bit harder to do at a fund of our size. So I'm looking for what I think of as white space. I always say to entrepreneurs, I don't want you to wander into a small village and build another house. I want you to find me a green field and build a tent and be the only one there, because I want things that you can dominate. Venture is a winner takes all or winner takes most business. And so I'm not really that interested in businesses that are the 7th or 8th or fill in the blank. I'm not actually even that interested in second. Not to say that you have to be first to win. I think first to market is not what wins. It's first to brand. But there's a lot of interesting things happening on sort of the infrastructure layer. Separate from that, though, my attitude is quite simple. I'm looking for entrepreneurs that make me say, wow. And I don't care if it's a fintech business or, let's put it this way. If you created a business and you went from, I'll give you an example of a business I funded, you went from 0 to $1 million in 6 months and from 1 to $10 million in the following 6 months, I'm going to say, wow, even if you're selling dog collars, because whatever it is that you did to affect that kind of just torrential growth, it's got to be amazing, and people are going to want to care about it. Now, you find that level of growth in technology businesses. I think it would be effectively impossible to do it with dog collars unless they were digital, and even then, I don't know who would buy that many dog collars digitally. But that's what makes this economy so phenomenal. The digital economy does allow phenomenal ideas to spread around the world almost instantly when they have the right connection of sort of amazing product, consumer interest, business interest, hopefully massive virality, because those sort of growth numbers, by the way, don't usually come from spending money on ad dollars and things like that. They come from finding a way to get people to come to you for something that's really exciting. It's rare, lightning in a bottle, but when you find it, it's just amazing and category becomes less important.
Olga, what makes you say wow?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually listening to Nina and Ben, and basically all my boxes, which make me say wow, I ticked already and mentioned. So yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, one of portfolio companies which we invested and which I work closely with is Rapid, and they came through the transformation of basically from just just payments and kind of B2B pro infrastructure payments layer to fintech as a service. And the opportunity of this kind of every company becomes a fintech, it's just huge. And this is one of the areas which I'm looking at very closely. When it brings network effects, I mean, it may sound as a buzzword, but that's important for me, and it makes me say, wow. And the payment space, all in all, it's so huge that we can actually see it by the number of deals and huge rounds in the space, right? And the space is much bigger. There is like cross-border B2B payments. It's still not the issue is not resolved. Like payouts, the issue is not resolved neither. So like payments and infrastructure layer in it is like one big segment which I'm super excited about. Another things which make me say, wow, is basically the whole layer of SME fintech related services, which goes from just automation of the processes to the banking. And apart from that, I'm also a big fan of kind of other infrastructure plays of game in different segments of fintech, right? Like capital markets and all the infrastructure which can be there, and which is also kind of this huge space is underdeveloped completely. Same goes for digital asset space. Like everyone got used to listen to about like crypto and everything, but not that many companies, and there is still no like proper infrastructure to basically make it an appropriate asset to be traded on institutional level. And everything what goes into this space makes me feel excited. And basically from the latest opportunities which I looked at and invested in, basically these theses I try to follow. And another, just like last but not least, I mentioned that like I mostly look at European startups, but at the same time, like there are still the regions which are completely untapped, and they have many more opportunities than US and Europe, which we all got used to. And that's how I started looking after Africa a lot, because this is just the country which is completely untouched, and the opportunities there are much bigger just naturally by number of people who live there, right? So yeah, these are basically a few things which make me excited about fintech.
I think talking about payments and talking about, you touched on Europe and a little bit of Africa. I think that we should go to Gabriel maybe in Colombia, because I know that he probably experiences the need for the transfer, the payments as well. But Gabriel, maybe you have something else to add from the point of view of South America.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Olga. She was saying, and Colombia, Latin America is the same as you might know. For example, in Colombia, most of the people don't have even a bank account, right? So that brings a lot of opportunities to this type of new models, specifically on the blockchain side with the DeFi, decentralized finance, which is still very new, is very nascent, but it opens a window to many people that don't have a bank account because it's too expensive, but also, I mean, they won't open a bank account, so they will be very curious about these new products on decentralized economies. For example, stable coins, for example, US Tether, which is, I mean, which has a lot of good things and bad things, but for the remittance market to Colombia is huge because many people, for example, from the US to Colombia, they send the money through stable coins, and it's way cheaper and faster than using the traditional, Western Union or other one, right? So that gives you a glimpse of what could be the technology brings to this area, whether South America or Africa, right? And in regards with the fintech, I'm also excited. For example, I've been paying attention to APIs, for the open banking, and you see how recently Visa acquired Play for almost 5 billion. I think so, no, 5 billion deal. So it's very interesting also that for the Latin American region that you could connect with an API, your wallets, your banks, everything, right? So I think, yeah, it's quite exciting times right now.
Alex, any thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what all the panelists have said. Just in general, there's been a further heightened acceleration and adoption of just digitization of goods and services, and specific to fintech. Some people touched on Plaid earlier, so I think it's a pertinent some data points that they came out with recently. 69% of Americans consider fintech as a lifeline during COVID, and then 73% consider it as a new normal. So I think those are really important numbers when you think about just habit formation, and it takes usually about 66 days to kind of kick in, and we're way past that. So some of the other panelists touched on the fact in European, just foreign countries where no one was even using baking, but there's a huge opportunity when you look at what's happening in America and just the adoption of it. So yeah, really excited to see what's going to come out of this. If you look at some of the past downturns, whether it was the oil crisis in the 70s with Microsoft, or EA in the 80s, and Airbnb, WhatsApp, a bunch of others in the 08, 09 crisis, just to see what type of companies are going to come out of this and pivot, whether they were pre-COVID and now they need to change kind of their route, or we're seeing a lot of post-COVID groups come out now that are done with the kind of the angel, friends and family, accelerator capital. I've been able to meet them virtually through something like Astra or YC's demo day. And they're now moving on to seed and just really, it's a new way to form those relationships. And it's definitely more challenging than if you had already formed those previous to COVID. But yeah, a very exciting time, and I think it's a huge inflection point that we're moving from.
Timu, I believe you're still there. How does the world look from Finland, given that we've been kind of going all over the globe here?
Thank you for Olga for bringing up this Africa. And so basically what is hot here is AI and cybersecurity, but what is really exciting with fintech is that fintech can be almost everything. And so it's more like a horizontal and then including various verticals. But coming back to Africa, so there fintech was done before any one of us was talking about fintech. So that's the thing. So it's not only about the markets that are growing up there, but it's also that there is purely unique markets that we can also learn from them and also adapt these businesses in our Western countries. And the thing is, as also Colombian, as it is in Colombia, is that people have not used any banks there. So it's truly amazing opportunity to start your businesses there. So I mean, here in Finland, we have the shortest way from Europe to Asia, and also the same time zone as Africans have. So we are like connecting with all the players in the world. Thanks.
Of the original list, I only have not called on Gary, but that's because I don't see him. But Gary, are you around somewhere? Usually, my friend Gary has some really interesting things to say, but he may have left us. Okay. We don't have too much time. Obviously, it's a large panel, and it's has all of us, all of you would, I'm sure, would have a lot more to expand on. I just want to make sure that you do take the time in the chat to please distribute the way to get a hold of you, whether it's a LinkedIn link or a website or an email that the people attending this event and viewing it can use, since clearly the biggest value of these types of events, which Astra does a great job putting together, is that it connects people of like minds, and especially people all over the world who have like minds. That's where the real value comes in, and then hopefully the speakers will also have a little bit of time to reply to those emails or communications that you might get from the audience, because you have to appreciate that's one of the most difficult things to do, is when you're an entrepreneur, to actually connect with that one person, even if they're sitting in a different part of the world, for advice or guidance or feedback on the various presentations. Because it is a sort of a large panel, I think it'd be difficult now to go again to everybody. If anybody has some interesting closing remarks or message that you would like to deliver to the audience, feel free to speak up. Otherwise, we will ask Elena to come back and then guide us through the next stage of the event. So any closing thoughts from anybody? We certainly hope everybody will stay healthy. I'm a little bit worried that COVID appears to be making a comeback. If you read some of the stories out there, it seems like Europe is having a little bit of a bounce. Latin America has not had and I'm close to Latin America, has not had a lot of success in really winning the battle yet. So everybody needs to be safe, be very careful, wear those masks, and make sure that you keep doing the work.
I'll throw out one closing thing, because we can all worry about COVID and that'll just depress us. But for the entrepreneurs that have been pitching, I put a post up that anybody can pitch me by video. I think that COVID has changed things a lot. It's made people easier to access in some ways. So I relaunched a site called PitchBen. It's pitch-ben.com. It's not a self-promotion. It's really more just saying you are more able to access investors than you've ever been able to do so before. Because I'll give you an example. I had put that site up a while ago, and I pulled it down because I just never had time to respond to people, and I had promised everybody a response because I was from meetings back to back to back. Now I'm in this library all day, which is great. I love this library, but it gives me the opportunity to respond to and meet with entrepreneurs, and so I realized I could do that more regularly. So this is a great time for any of you as founders to be hitting up those investors and offering those pitches. Now, having said that, when you do that, and this is advice for anybody that pitched today, pretty much entirely, and anybody that pitches going forward, understand that you've got to get the hook in the mouth, right? You've got to get that fish, the investor, interested. Be concise, be focused, tell us what matters. Leave everything else out. Get to the heart of it. Talk about what matters, because all you can do in a first contact and a short pitch or anything else is get us interested enough to spend more time with you. And I think that's a key misunderstanding. I think a lot of entrepreneurs believe that when they have a finite amount of time, they need to push everything into it. You need to push everything into it that matters. Everything else should fall to the floor. So just as a thought, keep it simple, keep it focused, really aggressively push on the things that make you exciting, because that starts a conversation that's going to take many, many iterations over Zoom to get to a point of funding. It's the beginning of a pretty long journey. So think of it that way versus a self-encompassing thing. Thanks.
Thank you, Ben. Well said. I think everybody agrees with what you said, but you said it in a very concise way. You put that hook. So you're putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak. It is 12:30 here in New York City. That means that Elena, we have our 30 minutes. We don't want to delay the event, so we're ready.
Did you say something to me?
Yes, that we reached the 30-minute mark, and that you said that after 30 minutes you will, continue
Yes.
the event.
Okay, I'm doing the breakout rooms for the moment. I need just 5 more minutes. And in the meantime, can you share each 1 minute? What is the best thing and the worst thing happened to you during COVID? Like the best learning and the worst learning. And I will do the breakout rooms.
Any volunteers for COVID-related lessons, or should I call on the order that I have here in my list?
I'm happy to speak about the changes that we've had in our portfolio companies, and these may be helpful for some of the fintech companies on the line right now. So I think, the majority of our portfolio companies, they're kind of what they're bringing to the table is that they're already trying to disrupt offline channels. And so while you can bring revolutionary tech to the table to help kind of do that offline to online transition, it's somewhat just kind of buffered by the industry needing to pick up. And so COVID's obviously been a huge acceleration on these types of online journeys. And so this has popped up across our portfolio companies in the positive way. But what we're finding is that, while it's giving opportunities to lend more, or SMB and consumers coming online for financing and insurance, rather than, walking down to their local agent, we're also seeing that risk underwriting becomes ever more important, because we are living in a world that's just a world of uncertainty now. And so, it's never good to throw uncertainty into the mix when it comes to the underwriting equation. And so one of the learnings we've had is really having to talk with our portfolio companies and with companies that we're speaking with for potential investments about how they're balancing kind of grabbing this land grab that's out there right now with also maintaining, disciplined risk profiles. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic that we're seeing come up, and it reminds you of the 2008 crisis for sure.
If no one else has any thoughts from the group, I do see my friend June Choi there in the on the list, and she has a great fund. And I'm wondering, since I know that I've noticed you've been listening intently to what people are saying, and you always have great insights when you and I speak. What sort of advice would you have for entrepreneurs? And maybe tell us, 10 seconds about Serval Ventures in your fund.
Serval is an emerging tech and infrastructure venture builder and investor. We think that the easy tech is done. And in order to get to transformative technologies and really amazing companies, we need to work on building our deal flow. So I agree a lot with what Ben said, and I really appreciated that. And I've been telling investors, and I've been talking with, telling founders, and I've been talking with various different founders, and recently launched the Project W program with some women SaaS founders. And I think it's about, as we're in COVID, right? And we're in the pandemic, you can't play it safe, right? You need to be memorable. And if you're going to go out and go on this entrepreneurial journey, it's a hard road. It's a lot of risk. And you're going to pour everything into it. And it should be for something that you're really that's really worth doing. I think you have to be willing to think about what is really transformative, what is really going to change things, because as we're seeing in COVID, the world is going to be different. And I think we're going to come out of this and there'll be some aspects that'll go back to as is, but I also think there's a lot of aspects of the world that will change remarkably, right? Lives Matter, really thinking about how we're, some people have moved out of places that they're never going to come back. I'm in New York and they're never going to come back to New York. And meanwhile, California is burning all over. So it's a lot of crazy stuff that's happening, and we're going to have to sort of adapt, right? And I recently sat in on another event where there was a founder who's developing something to really help us become tech augmented beings, which is sort of where I think we're going to go. And I think that also changes dramatically the possibilities of human potential. I don't know, what was that too sort of off scale for what we're talking about?
You know, your comments actually made me think of something that I did want to draw out here, which is I'm really intrigued by the diversity of this panel. You know, I think it's not a COVID specific thing, but I do think COVID's going to empower micro entrepreneurship to come from everywhere. And I love the fact, you know, my attitude's simple. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what you've ever done. I care that you're smart, driven, and tenacious. You know, I always say that one day I'd like to, I think if I had my own fund, I might call it Purple Octopus, because one day I'd like to fund the Purple Octopus from Venus to show that, you know, it's a meritocracy. And so here we've got a panel that happens to be almost 50% female investors. That's awesome. We're seeing a lot more. And again, this is not COVID, but it is in parallel that we're seeing sort of, nothing's changed. It's the attention to it that has in terms of the base of founders. I was trying to look at my founder base because people ask all kinds of questions that they've never asked before. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, okay, I guess, yeah, I do have 4 African-American founders, and I do have 2 First Nations founders, and I do have like 20% of my founders being women. Not because I tried for that. All those entrepreneurs made me say, wow. But I love that now the global voices have been speaking up for more inclusiveness. And I think I'm just tying this to COVID only because the connectivity we're all talking about, the access, the looking up, we're from around the world here. You've got diversity of gender, you've got diversity of nation. You know, people from around the world are looking for things from people from around the world. And I think that creates a great level playing field. But to the point you just made, you know, you've got to stand out. Your voice has to carry. And the one detrimental thing, because she had asked for the positive and the negative, is we're now all on air all the time. And having done a bunch of television, it's sort of like, man, that takes a while to get used to. You know, just look at the diversity of screens in front of you right now. Just look at the attention to detail. Like, that becomes important. You know, your presence and everything else. And so we have to now not just be amazing at what we do, but we have to present it in that way. And we have to really be compelling and get that hook, because, man, all of a sudden we're just all squares on a screen. And, you know, that part makes it hard. But I love the diversity here, and I love the diversity I'm seeing. And I think it's going to make the world a better place.
Another great conclusion from Ben. Elena, again, feel free to tell us when you're ready for the next step.
1 minute.
Yeah, okay. I mean, in my own experience, if you want to add my 2 cents, I do sometimes wish that entrepreneurs would have just a little bit more experience running a business before launching to, you know, the wow factor is important, but I also think some old-fashioned experience running a business, you know, making payroll, things like that, are also very important. And I think entrepreneurs, in order to prepare for their entrepreneurial venture, they ought to consider also working in a business for a little bit. I'm reminded of what, and just dating myself, going back to what, you know, the famed Magellan Peter Lynch, right, was his name. He wrote a book. He said, if you want to buy stocks, the first thing you should do is buy a house. Once you own a house, then go ahead and start buying stocks. Because first of all, if you lose all of your money in the stock market, at least you have a house. And second of all, buying and selling something like a house really gives you that experience of going into buying and selling whatever it is. So that's just my 2 cents. Sometimes we find great entrepreneurs with great ideas, but if they don't have that savvy of actually having run a business, they may not be as prepared. And it's not only the idea, it's the execution that matters. And unfortunately, most investors, and I say most, not all, but certainly more than claim, are not value added. Investors tend to come in, they want to put their money to work, but they're not necessarily going to run your business for you. They're not going to necessarily be there when you need them. They say they will, but they're busy doing other things, such as managing their LP money and you know, and looking after other investments. So that's just my 2 cents. See if you can run a little bit of a business before you start one. Sorry? Yes.
Can I follow up on that a little bit? I get a lot of interns, students that want to be VCs. It used to be they wanted to be investment bankers or consultants, and now they all want to be VCs. And I'm like, oh, okay. What are you going to bring to the VC firm? And they say, I'm not sure, you know, I'll learn. And I'm like, you know, the best thing you can do is go get a job at a funded startup and understand how that works, you know, and then you have something to offer and you can put that on your resume. Who knows, that may be the next Google. So I'm with you. And then also on the other side, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, that is definitely part of my little hook. When people say, well, based on my experience of when I did this or I ran this, now I can, you know, I have a good plan.
Julio, one thing I might add to that when I think about what could be helpful for the entrepreneurs on this call is I totally agree with you that everyone, all of us pitch the value add, and it's important to, you know, while all investors probably have the, you know, best intentions, it's important to figure out if what they're thinking of in terms of value add will actually be what you're looking for as an entrepreneur. And so I think one way to do that is in the first meeting to, you know, kind of push them on that. Like, who do you think in your portfolio would be kind of helpful connections for me? What are kind of examples of, you know, if you have kind of a post-investment team, what's the cadence of meetings with them and so on? And obviously it differs greatly by stage in terms of how engaged, you know, someone like Ben probably sits on a ton of boards and you want to get his attention at the right time for what you need versus, you know, and another investor maybe sits on a few boards, but all of them are investing in you and completely aligned to make sure that you are, you know, accelerating the growth plan. And so it's just about making sure that you're asking the right things as an investor rather than constantly every day asking for an intro to a new customer. Make sure that you really are thinking of maybe the 2 to 3 top things that you want from each investor, and then making sure you're aligned in terms of expectations from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Then there's always the structure of the investing. Anyway, yes, Elena, please go ahead.
So guys, I will put now you into the rooms with startups, but I don't, so the startups which will assign the rooms, sorry, I will put just to everyone. And the other startups, please stay because probably we need to put you into one-to-one rooms to the investors. So I will put you guys, everyone into different rooms with startups. And if I don't put someone, probably I didn't get your voting list, so we need to figure it out now. So, and for investors, if you want to switch the room because you voted for several startups, you just call for help or leave the room and I will put you into a different room with another startup. Okay, just everyone just stay online. And if you need help, you just push ask for help button. Please accept the invitation to the room. Okay, the rest startups which were not assigned the rooms, you still had investors voting for you. So I suggest that you stay with me and wait for the investors. And if I didn't put any investors in the room, just in case, please let me know which projects you are interested in, and I will put you into the room with this project. Just send me a message. Okay. One moment. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, anyone else? Please let me know which room do you want to go to. Okay. David, please write me from now. I need to put you into the room. Where are you? Who are you? Okay, David. Okay, I see. Let me try. No, it's David. Okay. Okay, any investors are left behind apart from startups?
Hola.
Okay,
Buenos
okay.
días. Elefante, león. Bye.
Okay, Linda, please accept the invitation. Okay, any other investors are left behind, please? Okay, William. Okay. Okay. I think I put here everyone. Okay. Any investors are still left behind? Okay, guys. For the rest, you have still investors who voted for you, but they're in the other rooms. So you can wait. They're coming back, listen to you. But those are startups who want.
¿De pozole? ¿Pozol?